I'm Diane Canfield Bywaters, and I'm a full-time artist now. I am a former academic. I retired out of the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point after 30 years of teaching drawing and painting. I am also the former chair of the Department of Art and Design, and so I have the honor of being an emeritus faculty member now. I would like to talk a little bit about my artwork, specifically assemblage work, but I wanted to talk about my journey to get there first. I actually trained as a painter. I have an MFA, Master of Fine Arts, from Washington University in St. Louis, and I also have a BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts, from the University of Kansas in Lawrence, Kansas. I taught drawing and painting at DePaul University my first year out of graduate school, and that's in Greencastle, Indiana. And then I went on to Columbus College of Art and Design in Columbus, Ohio, and taught a couple years there. And then ended up at University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point for a tenure track job. So I have spent most of my adult life in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, although I originally from Kansas City and was born and raised there. I obviously have a background in painting, and I have 40 years of in plein air painting experience. Had great success with my in plein air painting career. I have the honor of being selected to more artist in residencies in the United States National Park System than any other artist, I believe, and also I've painted on location in Belgium and Scotland and England and Italy and France, and really had a wonderful career as an in plein air painter. But something happened when I was 50. I celebrated my 50th birthday with my mother. I had taken family leave to be with her because she was dying of cancer, and her diagnosis and then her death came fairly suddenly, just a couple months. So I was with her through that process, and once I saw her transform to the next stage of her life, right, I felt a need to do something more with my artwork than landscape painting. I just felt like I wasn't saying enough with landscape painting, so I decided to explore assemblage art. And I took a course, workshop with Michael Domingue, and he's a contemporary assemblage artist that offers workshops. And I have continued taking workshops with him because he's just a great inspiration, and because of the artists that he attracts to his workshops. They're inspiring and creative and really supportive, and we have a lot of fun, and we laugh a lot during his workshops. So in the end, I ended up with a group of artists, like-minded artists. So I have had the honor of being influenced by him, and then the people that he attracts to his workshops. They've been a great influence on my artwork. As an assemblage artist, it's great fun to collect for the pieces. So those pieces can actually be inspiring initially. I remember going to a garage sale of a former science teacher, and they had epoxied a snake on a piece of a plank of wood. I thought, what a strange thing to do. It was like over 5 feet. And at first I walked to my car not buying it. And then I went back and bought it because I thought, this piece is so weird, I think I could do something with it. So sometimes you're inspired by the pieces that you collect. And other times you're inspired by something else. My current pieces are inspired by artists in residency, and the first and only online virtual artist in residency I've been a part of, and that was with Kasini House in the Tulane University's digital collection, and that was early this summer. And it was a month long, and it attracted participants from all over, and it was a really inspiring group of people. And Rick Kasini was the organizer of that artist in residency. And he emphasized the importance of artists creating art during this pandemic. It's a historic moment, and artists should be committed to trying to interpret this historic moment. And so we studied about the 1918 pandemic, and also the AIDS, pandemic, and I have been committed to it, making art that is about the pandemic since. So this exhibition is just a perfect fit for me, and I'm honored to be part of it. The pieces are created with epoxy clay. It's a Wisconsin company, which is lovely to support locally, and you use epoxy clay to put things together, and they hold pretty readily and quickly, and it dries, and then you can paint the items to unify the image. I use an acrylic paint, golden fluids for the artists out there that want specifics like that. So I do that to create my pieces. And as I mentioned, the pandemic is inspiring the pieces. Sometimes prior to the pandemic, it could be a story, an expression. I created a piece about leadership. And that's been exhibited quite frequently. So it just depends what could be the inspiration for the piece. But a lot of times it is the objects that you collect. My adult daughter says I'm a bit of a hoarder now that I'm an assemblage artist. I think I've always been a hoarder, but the assemblage pieces do acquire the hoarders in the group of the artists. I have a basement full of doll parts and old dolls and skeleton parts and various things that I need for my assemblage pieces. I am inspired by indigenous art quite a bit, and I am also inspired by assemblage artists that I've mentioned, like Michael Domingue, and certainly was inspired by Rick Kasini's virtual experience about that pandemic, the artist in residency. I think death is part of life, right? And certainly during the pandemic, death has become a huge part of this experience. I recently lost someone that I've known over 30 years that celebrated her 100th birthday this summer, and she recently died of the pandemic. And although that's been the only one I personally have known, I have heard that there are families that have been affected by generations of people dying, which just sounds devastating. This show I think is very pertinent at this time, and I am honored to be part of it. I think my piece that is entitled "Pandemic Series: Wash Your Hands" certainly should be a reminder to wash our hands. The dinosaur in the piece could be representative people, and we don't know exactly how the dinosaurs went to extinct, but if we aren't careful, we could go extinct with this pandemic. But also the dinosaur could be representing of the virus too, and the idea that the hands could be the virus's hands is also pertinent to that. The other piece with the mask, certainly the importance of wearing masks, that it's the parachute of life right here, right now. So that is pertinent to that piece. I hope you enjoy my pieces. I hope that you see the humor in them as well as the seriousness of pieces. And I appreciate you attending the show, and also appreciate Rose, the curator of the show, that she provided this opportunity for artists to have expression at this really important time. Thank you so much.